I get it, you scroll through a sea of kayak accessories, see a sleek pedal drive unit on the page, imagine gliding across the water without a paddle, and then you wonder if it will actually work the way the marketing video promises. So many products look perfect in the photos, only to leave you flatfoot on the lake when you try them out. That hesitation is real, especially when you're spending a decent chunk of cash on something that's supposed to make a fishing day easier, not harder. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's break down what you really need to know before you decide whether this generic pedal drive motor belongs on your kayak. First, the concept itself is solid, a foot-operated propeller that turns a small rudder, letting you steer and move forward while your hands stay free for line work, camera gear, or just a coffee. In theory, that means you can stay in one spot while trolling, or cover a lot more water without the arm fatigue that comes from paddling or using a handheld trolling motor. The device claims it fits any kayak or small fishing boat, folds its rudder when it bumps something, and stores without a draft so you can tow it on a roof rack. Those are the selling points that caught my eye, and they're the ones you'll actually test in real use. Who should consider this pedal drive? If you're a solo angler who spends a few hours on calm lakes, likes to keep both hands on the rod, and wants a low-tech, battery-free way to cruise, this could be a match. It also makes sense for a weekend paddler who wants to add a bit of propulsion without the noise and weight of a battery-powered motor. The unit's injection-molded plastic body with an anodized aluminum hub feels sturdy enough to survive a few accidental bumps, and the spring-loaded rudder folding on impact is a clever safety feature. You won't be dragging a deadweight through shallow reeds if you hit a snag. On the other side, skip it if you're planning long-range trips on windy rivers, need a high-speed motor to keep up with a fast-moving boat, or if you're a family with kids who want a motor that can pull a larger, heavier vessel. The foot pedal delivers about the same thrust you'd get from a modest hand-trolled trolling motor, which is fine for low-speed cruising but not enough to fight a strong current. Also, because the whole system is purely mechanical, you'll need to keep your foot steady. Any wobble translates directly into a wobble in the water, which can make precise casting a little tricky. Now let's talk about setup and daily usability. Installing the pedal drive is surprisingly quick. You slide the unit into the existing footwell or a small mount at the stern, attach the propeller shaft, and connect the rudder. The whole process takes less than 15 minutes, even if you're not a seasoned DIYer. The folding rudder is a nice touch for storage. Once you're done, you can pull the unit out, let the spring retract the blade, and stash it in the cockpit without worrying about it catching on the deck. The lack of any electrical components means there's no battery to charge or charger to remember, which cuts down on maintenance. In practice, the biggest strength is the hands-free propulsion. I tried it on a mid-sized touring kayak on a still lake. After a few pedal strokes, the kayak settled into a smooth, quiet glide around 2 to 3 knots. I could keep a line out, watch the bobber, and still steer with my foot. The pedal feels like a bike crank, with enough resistance to give a sense of power but not so much that you tire out in 10 minutes. Because it's foot-powered, you can keep moving as long as you have the stamina. There's no battery gauge blinking red after an hour. The trade-off shows up when the water gets choppy or you need to change direction quickly. The rudder's folding mechanism, while great for avoiding damage, can introduce a tiny lag the first time you yank the foot pedal after the blade has folded. In calm conditions that lag is negligible, but on a breezy afternoon you might notice a slight delay before the kayak responds. Also, the unit adds a bit of drag when you're not pedaling. You have to keep a light foot on the pedal to maintain a steady speed, which some users find less relaxed than a completely passive system. Another practical point, the foot pedal sits at the stern, which means you have to adjust your seating position a bit. If you're used to sitting right at the back, you'll need to scoot forward a few inches to keep your foot on the pedal comfortably. This isn't a deal breaker, but it's something to test before you commit to a longer trip. The pedal's range of motion is limited, so you won't be able to pedal in a full circle like a bike. It's more of a push and release action, which can feel a bit different if you're transitioning from